Hey there, I recently reviewed this, the Nike Invincible 3, and this, the Asics Gel Nimbus 25. There were lots of interesting comments at the bottom of each video, and in this video I'm going to try and address some of the comments and see which of the two shoes I would choose. I made this video because I love the comments people put after each video I make, and they force me to think about certain things about the shoes, and these particular ones caused me a lot of thinking and rethinking. There was lots of interesting ones I wanted to address in relation to the Invincible 3 and the Gel Nimbus 25, and then that's what I'm going to do this week. And in next week's video I'm hoping to compare the Invincible 2 to the Invincible 3. So fire in more comments if you want, but I'm going to try and compare those. So with that said, there's chapter markers down below so you can skip on through to the bits you're interested in. Let's get going. When I try to put the statistics either side and I point up and refer to right and left, I invariably get it wrong. So on this side, there's going to be the Asics Gel Nimbus 25, and on this, the Nike Invincible 3. So yeah, you should see stuff popping up there in relation to each as I go through them. Before I go through any of the comments in detail, I just go through a quick couple of things about the shoes, the uppers and the base. I made videos individually about each of these shoes and I'll link those at the end, and so they're kind of exhaustive, but you can see in pictures of me running in them. But this is the Gel Nimbus 25 and it's very soft. I mean, the first thing you notice is how plush this upper is. Beautifully padded at the heel, lovely tongue that pulls up. The laces pull through really nicely through these loops and the eyelets. It's a very comfortable upper. This, on the other hand, the Invincible 3 got a lot of criticism, which we'll come to. It's not as plush, certainly not as plush as the Gel Nimbus 25, and it's not as plush as its predecessors. It's kind of thinner around here. There is some padding. The laces, they go through rectangular slots and take a bit of pulling. It doesn't pull through nearly as easily. And yeah, the upper in the Invincible 3, not as good, in my opinion, as the upper in the Gel Nimbus 25. These shoes are really about the midsole and the foam. In the Nike's case, ZoomX, and it's got a 40mm stack height. The Gel Nimbus 25 has a 41mm stack height, so very little difference, but it also has a gel pad inside underneath the heel, not quite as soft as the Nike ZoomX. The Invincible 3 weighs 375 grams or 13.25 ounces, and the Gel Nimbus weighs 364 grams or 12.4 ounces in the lighter of the two shoes that I measured each time. And so surprisingly to me, the Gel Nimbus is actually a little bit lighter than the Invincible 3. So to look at some of the comments, IP has said, I have wide feet, so I think the only option for comfort is the Nimbus 25 in wide. So the Nimbus is available depending on the market in different widths, whereas the Invincible 3 isn't. I mentioned the stack height, but without going down another rabbit hole of stack height, the Invincible 3 is 40mm with a 9mm drop, and the Gel Nimbus 25 is 41.5mm with an 8mm drop. So very similar overall. In terms of aesthetics, I prefer the Invincible 3. I think there's more interesting things going on in the Gel Nimbus 25. It's fine. It's kind of like a lot of parts of the shoe. It's inoffensive in every way possible. It's available in, both shoes are available in lots of different colors. In my review of the Gel Nimbus 25, I spent some time talking about how I loved the bright yellow shoe. For it to be pointed out to me that it's not yellow at all, it's lime green. So as Martin says, I bought these in acid green. It's definitely green and not yellow, and he's right. So I stand here corrected, but they are bright, and I quite like them in that color. So what do I like when you put them on? Well, these are a joy to put on. The tongue is wonderful. They wrap really securely around the ankle. The little loops and the eyelets make it really easy to lace the shoe up. It is really comfortable. This, on the other hand, is not really. You've got these rectangular slots and you're always pulling at the laces, and nowhere near as comfortable as the Gel Nimbus 25. Once they're on, they're okay. So how do they feel to run in? Well, the Invincible 3s are the softer of the two shoes in my experience, more lively if you like that kind of thing. I'll compare the Invincible 3 to the Invincible 2 in a future video, but it's certainly, the foam in this shoe is softer and in a certain sense a bit livelier. In this, it's the Gel Nimbus 25. I found it very stable. What I find, if you look at the bottom of the shoe, there's a big, long, straight, flat piece on the Nimbus 25, whereas on the Invincible 3, it curves up more to the front and more to the rear, so rocks along a little less. The Nimbus 25 I found kind of flat Adam had some interesting things to say. If I look at Adam's comments, first, I found the ride fairly bland, well cushioned, but not very responsive and a bit heavy. And that is kind of how it feels. I didn't find it heavy, but it does feel kind of bland. But I mean, a lot of times that's what you're looking for in an easy, long run shoe. You might want the liveliness, but if you want the liveliness, this is certainly more lively. When you look at the descriptions on the Asics and Nike websites, the shoes are targeted at long, easy day runs, and in that respect, they both work really well in my experience. The cost of these shoes is slightly crazy. In Australia, they're the same price for each shoe, but everywhere else it's actually quite different. I'll put them up here. The Invincible is €189.99, $180, £169.95, and the aforementioned Australian, 260 Australian dollars. The Gel Nimbus 25, on the other hand, is €200, so $10 more expensive or thereabouts. It's $160, so it's cheaper in the US, it's more expensive in Europe. It's £175, which I think is a little bit more expensive in sterling, and it's the same Australian, $260. So depending which market you're in, one or other shoe will have an advantage in terms of cost. In terms of longevity, I only got 300 kilometers out of my first pair of Invincibles. I haven't run that far in the second one, so 300 kilometers or 180 miles before they started to wear fairly badly. But Bev got 600 kilometers and they still look and feel awesome. So I think I must be just really heavy on my feet. But certainly if I was just analyzing them with a little bit of light running so far, I would expect the Gel Nimbus 25 to outlast the softer foam in the Invincible 3s. So I got a comment from the brilliantly named Fat, Ugly, Sad Man. So he, and it's the internet, you never know if it's a he, but anyway, Fat, Ugly, Sad Man said, I love the version 1, 2, but after 3 runs in the V3, I sent one back to Nike. Firstly, the upper like cardboard feels much firmer, and oh boy, the heel slip. I mean, did Nike actually test their shoes before release? Yeah, I mean, they do kind of feel like cardboard. There is that sort of feeling that I thought was a great description. They do feel kind of cardboardy. I decided to check the heel slip. I'd seen it in a couple of comments that people were saying their heel slipped. I'm very sensitive when I'm tying my left shoe rather than my right shoe, but I went out yesterday, just tied them normally and ran down the street on the way to work, and I found that they were, I could feel a little bit of heel slip, but not that much that would bother me if I hadn't read it in the comments. So I ran to work, which is about 5k. And then on the way home, I decided, and initially what I did was I stopped with heel slip and I tightened them up, but I found that then I got a mild discomfort on my forefoot. So when I was coming back, so I was running back to 5k, I put the runner's knot in where you loop it through the second eyelet and tighten them up, and they were fine. They didn't slip at all for me. So maybe the runner's knot might work for you. I got a comment from Ham Shippy, and I'm sorry about all the pronunciations of names if I get them wrong, but it kind of said the same kind of things. Didn't buy the first 2 versions, thought I'd get the 3s just to see what they're about, found the shoes unstable and also had heel slip and Achilles rub. Looked like clown shoes when looking down at them, and they do look like clown shoes. Try them in this size 12s. They really do, yeah. But I mean, I like that, but they do look like clown shoes, and you can definitely see them splaying out when you look down. And again, comment, the upper was rough and the heel area doesn't work at all. The laces are too short and the stack is too high given the squishy nature. So the stack, I mean, I find with high stack shoes, if you're turning tight corners, tricky, but I didn't find it difficult to run in these particular ones. I got a question from somebody whose name I think is in Hebrew. I don't speak Hebrew, so I won't try and pronounce it, but what it says is, if I have to choose one comfortable and fun shoe for running, what do you recommend? The Nimbus 25 or Nike Invincible 3? And it's really that question that prompted me to make the video, so I'll come to that. Then I got a question about an Oura ring, and I thought, what's this guy? What video is this guy watching? And I realized, it's my nephew, Jack, get with the program. We'll do that another day. Comment on the shoes. To return to the central question, to choose one comfortable and fun shoe for running. Well, I find it harder to answer than I would have thought. So for the one comfortable shoe, I picked the Asics Gel Nimbus 25. But if I wanted something that's fun for running, I picked the Nike Invincible 3. Overall, you've got to balance your priorities, whether you want comfortable or whether you want something bit of fun. For me, the Nike Invincible 3. Narrowly. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, It'd be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you pop into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.